Hey everyone, and welcome back. So doing a news update today, I sort of realized I actually haven't made a video since my Happy Halloween video, which is weird because I was like, did I not make one last week? But then I remembered I was having that whole thing with my AC taken care of, which for those of you who don't know, my AC unit actually had an issue with it where it basically there was no cool air coming out, which sort of defeats the purpose. So I had it checked out, and apparently there was a big leak. One of the major pipes for it was not properly put in apparently several years ago by another company. So it basically has sort of just slowly rusted out over time until finally now it was, well, last week anyway, it was no longer working. So they actually had it was like a whole thing. They came back on Monday and they took care of it. Anyway, it was a very expensive fix, I will say that. But it was either that or just wait until like March or something. I was like, I'm not gonna wait. So while it was a major expense, and one I'm gonna have to just find other ways to sort of offset, at least I'm happy it is taken care of, even though in the ironic sense, after a couple days of a heat uptick, it is now cooled off. It's probably going to be cooled off for several months. But hey, at least I'm ready for, I don't know, March, April of next year. Anyway, that's not why you guys are watching this video. Probably, at least most of you probably aren't watching this video to know how my AC unit is doing. We have some announcements from actually several different companies. I think most of these are for next year, but some of them are for Black Friday, which of course is only 2 weeks away. Jeez Louise, can you believe it? So let's just dive right in. So first up, Kino has announced that they're working on a 4K release of Guillermo del Toro's Mimic, due out next year. Now, no further details right now, just the fact they just made the announcement that they are working on it for next year, and it is going to be obviously a 4K and I assume also Blu-ray release, which is good to know because that one is definitely long overdue for a really nice release. And next up, we have an announcement from VCI that they are coming out with a 4K release of Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, which is really cool. Probably one of my favorite sort of made-for-TV horror films. And the release is for Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 1 and 2. It's a double feature release, so I don't know if they're both going to be 4K or not, but I assume at the very least the first one should be. Now, no further details, no release date, it just says coming soon, so I don't know if it's going to be out by the end of the year or next year. I would assume probably more so next year, but again, have no clue. But definitely a very exciting announcement from them. And next up, we have two title announcements from MVD, two Blu-ray announcements. So first up, slated for February 20th. Actually, these both might be February 20th. Let me just double check real quick. February 20th. Yeah, February 20th for both. First up is a new Blu-ray release of the movie Joysticks. Now, that did get released once before from, oh gosh, was it Code Red? Who put that out? Can't remember. It was a while ago, but it does look like it's actually using the same transfer because in the description, it does say it has a new 2K scan and restoration from 2015 from the 35mm film elements. That sounds about right till when that previous release kind of came out, so I'm assuming it's the same master. Obviously probably would have a better encode, but it does have some nice extras on it, including, I think some of these are ported over, but it does have at least a new commentary track featuring MVD rewinds, Eric Wilkinson, Serial Midnight host Heath Holland, and Diabolic DVD's Jesse Nelson. That should be a fun track to listen to, get the three of them together. And these next couple of extras may have been on the previous release, and they include a commentary track with director Graydon Clark, interview with director Graydon Clark, coin slots, a faux trailer short written and directed by Newt Wallen and starring Mr. Lobo and Eric D. Wilkinson, has a reversible cover, a two-sided mini poster, the original theatrical trailer, and in the first pressing, it's got this awesome slipcover, which looks like an old Atari game, which I absolutely love. Retails for $29.95, and again, it's a Blu-ray release, not sure. I don't see anything about region lock. Could be Region A locked, so just as a heads up, it might be for those of you outside of Region A. And then the other Blu-ray, also coming to February 20th, is a new release of the movie Hardware Wars, which was a low-budget Star Wars parody, I think actually a short film. When was it made? 1978? On a budget of $8,000. Although actually for the time, that's actually a lot of money. And that one actually will have both a Blu-ray release and a separate DVD release. And as far as special features go, it's got a brand new 2K HD transfer from the original camera negative of the original 1978 short film supervised by director Ernie Fossilus. I hope I'm pronouncing his name okay. Presented its original 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio, stereo audio, and then it's got a couple of extra features, including an audio commentary with writer-director Ernie Fossilus, a video commentary with writer-director Ernie Fossilus, Hardware Wars Director's Cut running 10 minutes and 15 seconds, but in standard definition, and then a Hardware Wars prequel featurette at 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Hardware Wars foreign version at 11 minutes and 19 seconds, all those in standard definition, by the way. In 1978, Creature features interview with writer-director Ernie Fossilis. Hardware Wars Saves Christmas featurette. Hardware Wars trailer, an awards reel, Pork Lips Now, the 1980 parody of Apocalypse Now from director Ernie Fossilis, which I remember correctly, I think the VHS release, I think, had both of them on it, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. Plan 9.1 from Outer Space, a 2009 parody remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space with puppets. Collectible poster, and in the first pressing, it also comes with this really cool looking slipcover that looks like it kind of mimics almost like the old Warner Brothers VHS covers, which I absolutely love the look of that. So retails for $19.95, and the DVD retails for $14.95. And again, both these slated for February 20th. And next up, we move over to the Scream Factory announcements for January. So actually, before I get to those, they did announce one more website exclusive, which I think is another one in the Roger Corman ones. Limited to 1,600 units. It's the movie Street Girls from 1975. Again, Region A locked. I think any Blu-ray that I announced from Scream Factory is definitely going to be Region A locked. But it does have a new HC master presented in both 1.85:1 and 1.66:1. A new commentary with adult film historian Peter Lilunas. I'm so sorry, I butchered that name. Interview with actor-filmmaker Catherine Wilson, an image gallery, as well as a trailer, and that is available basically right now, again, exclusively from the Shout Factory website. And then we move on to the January announcements. There's only 3 here, and they're all Blu-rays, so again, I assume all of these are going to be Region A locked. So first up, coming January 23rd, is the movie Jennifer 8, starring Andy Garcia and Uma Thurman, and that is getting a collector's edition, but the details have not been released just yet. Actually, it's going to be the same with all 3 of these titles. I don't think any details have been released just yet. Next up, coming January 23rd, is a Blu-ray release of the movie Thinner, the adaptation of the Stephen King story, which I'm glad is getting a new release. Kind of wish this one was in 4K, but at the very least, I am glad it's getting a new release, hopefully with a new transfer and some new extras, which again have not been announced yet. Those will be coming down the line. And then finally, the one that actually did make me happy, especially, is coming January 30th, is a Blu-ray release of the movie Funeral Home, which is long overdue. I think it's the one. I think one of you actually asked me about Funeral Home, I think, not too long ago, and I thought it was actually with another company. So, but no, it's actually coming out from Scream Factory in January. Blu-ray release again, so I assume it's going to be Region A locked, and also no extra details at this moment. But you should probably get them. Probably next month. Well, yeah, it would have to be, because these movies come out in January. So yeah, I assume sometime in December we'll get the details for these. And then that's it for Scream Factory, which honestly kind of surprised me. I was like, is that it for January? That's how you started off the year? I mean, like, again, not bad announcements, but nothing like too kind of like, oh my gosh, kind of thing to kind of kick off the year. But at the same time, actually, for selfish reasons, I'm actually quite happy, because in January, of course, I do want to try and renew my Vinegar Syndrome subscription for another year. And that is quite pricey. So actually, I'm kind of happy that I'm hoping January actually does end up being a little bit of a lighter month. And then finally, we get to the Severin announcements. They're starting to announce the titles that are going to be up, I believe, during their Black Friday sale, which again is still hard to believe. It's literally 2 weeks away. God, that blows my mind. I don't think there's any details for these just yet, so I could probably actually go through them. But so first up, a new 4K release of the movie The Church. It's going to be a 4K Blu-ray and a CD 3-disc set. And that's good news, because the last Blu-ray release, which was from Scorpion Releasing, Scorpion and Code Red, sometimes, unless you kind of followed those labels, you didn't always know when those things were available, or you even knew it came out at all. So I'm kind of glad it's getting at least a little bit more of a release that more people can grab, and the fact that it is going to be a 4K release as well, and obviously with the soundtrack, which again, I always love it when they include the soundtrack. And next up, a definitely very exciting one, a 4K release of Cemetery Man. That's finally getting, in my opinion, like long overdue for a very proper release. And that's also going to be a 4K Blu-ray and CD 3-disc set, 4-disc set. So again, very cool that it is going to have the soundtrack included with it as well. So the next 2 announcements are Blu-ray only. First up is the movie Closed Circuit from 1978. And then next up is a Blu-ray release of the movie The Dead One from 1961. And again, both of those are Blu-ray releases, but I don't have any more details on any of these. I assume they probably won't really release anything until like right before they go on sale, or literally probably won't know until they actually go up on sale during the Black Friday weekend. Now I think there might be more announcements. In fact, if they may even make one while I'm working on this video. If they do, maybe I'll try and sort of squeeze it in. If not, I'll obviously mention it in the next video. But another thing which I don't think will be included in this, it might be on the schedule for next year, but I do know that Severin, because I don't think I mentioned this before. If I did, I don't remember. Severin did do a 4K restoration of Dario Argento's opera, which I am so excited for. I know right now, I think it's playing like, I think a couple festivals and like a couple limited like theatrical runs and stuff. So I don't think that's going to be coming in 2 weeks, you know, but I assume that I mean, could be their big Memorial Day title next year. I don't know. I would have to wait that long, but we may have to. But just a heads up that is definitely in the works, which I cannot wait for. And I think that's everything for these announcements. Obviously, a little light on details for a lot of them, but obviously we will get more details in the coming weeks, and also, you know, probably next month for a lot of these. And I'm sure you guys notice I'm wearing one of my many Creepshow shirts because November 10th is actually the anniversary of the original release of Creepshow. Now, last year was actually the 40th anniversary, which I did a big video on at the time, and this is the 41st anniversary, so not quite as spectacular as one of those, you know, ones that you get like every like 5 years or something. But any chance I can take to just celebrate Creepshow. I was thinking about doing a separate video, but honestly, it's like, you know what, I think I kind of covered everything in last year's video, and I didn't want to like hurry and just put out another video for it. So I'm just going to end this video just saying, you know, happy anniversary, Creepshow. Obviously, as you guys know, it's one of my favorite films, so any chance I can get to celebrate it, I will. So a special shout out to one of my favorite films. And again, that's it for the announcements. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Again, I don't really have too many details at this time, but again, hopefully we'll find out more soon. And again, obviously, as we get closer to Black Friday, there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot more stuff that's going to be announced and everything, which I will definitely cover. And I am planning to do a pickups video, which I'm long overdue on, because I did actually get in some stuff just recently before I had all the AC problems. You know, probably would have held off on some of this. But I do have some stuff that I'm actually really excited that did come in. So that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.